Have you ever stood beside a river and sensed a story coursing through its waves, an ancient murmur rising with every ripple? In the rich tapestry of African cultures, rivers are not mere sources of water. They are sacred conduits of history, spirituality, and profound wisdom. These flowing bodies weave through the continent like veins, pumping life and legacy from the heart of the earth into the communities that cherish them. This journey explores the mystical rivers of Africa, delving into their roles as keepers of collective memory, as metaphysical gateways to realms of transformation and rebirth, and as divine entities revered in myths and rituals. In understanding these waters, we embark on a voyage that transcends the physical landscape, navigating the interplay of existential philosophy, cultural psychology, and spiritual enlightenment concealed within the murmuring depths of African river lore. Through the symbolism and reverence embedded in these rivers, we uncover insights into human existence, communal identity, and the perennial dance between nature and humankind. Join me as we traverse the spiritual currents and philosophical streams that define these mighty waters, exploring how they shape, sustain, and sanctify the lives of those they touch. As we journey from the echoing ancestral voices through the philosophic currents of time to the transformative rites performed at riverbanks, our understanding of these terrestrial veins deepens, revealing not just the flow of water, but the flow of life itself. One. Echoes of ancestral voices, listening to the rivers speak. Have you ever paused to consider what the ripples in a river might whisper if only we knew how to listen? Across the vast landscapes of Africa, rivers do not merely serve as fluid passages of water. They are emblematic streams of consciousness and spiritual lore. Charged with the powerful echoes of ancestral voices, rivers carry tales etched into their currents, offering insights into the very essence of life and existence. In African mythology, rivers are often revered as living, breathing entities endowed with spirits and stories. Take, for instance, the majestic Zambezi River, winding its way through 6 countries before spilling into the Indian Ocean. Here, local mythology speaks of Nyami, a river god or spirit, believed to watch over the Zambezi's waters and its people. The presence of Nyami is not merely a reflection of cultural respect for the natural environment, but represents a deeper, symbolic connection to the river as a conduit for wisdom passed down through ages. But what does it truly mean to listen to a river? As we delve into the spiritual narratives surrounding these waters, we confront a profound metaphysical inquiry. How can the flowing waters, seemingly timeless in their journey, help us comprehend the transient nature of human existence? The river, with its perpetual motion, reminds us of the unending cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Each wave that breaks upon the shore carries with it stories of old, stories of triumph, tragedy, and everyday existence. The whispers of the river are echoes of our ancestors speaking to us across the arc of time, reminding us of past lessons and warnings, perhaps foretelling future events. How then do we interpret these fluid messages ensconced within the rhythmic splashes and quiet murmurs? For communities nestled along these riverbanks, the river's voice serves as a sacred link to their heritage and a continuous reminder of their collective identity. Rituals and ceremonies enacted at the river's edge are not merely for appeasing the deities that dwell within, but for reconnecting with the ancient knowledge these waters possess. As people gather to draw water, fish, or celebrate their rituals, they participate in an age-old tradition of dialogue with nature, where the river, much like a sage, imparts wisdom vital for communal harmony and individual insight. The symbolism entwined within these practices fosters a profound connection between the people and their environment, as well as spiritual landscapes. The river is seen as a keeper of ethical codes and moral values, narrating the virtues of respect, coexistence, and sustainability through its enduring flow. Thus, to listen to the river is to engage in a deeper introspection of one's place within the universe. It is an invitation to ponder not just about our personal existence, but about our collective journey as a community. A symbiotic dance with nature, guided by the timeless songs of our ancestors. What then can we learn about our present by paying heed to these ancient stream-bound voices? How might the wisdom carried by the waters of the Zambezi, infused with the spirit of Nyami Nyami, inspire a renewed understanding of our lives today? As we reflect on these questions, the river flows onward, eternally whispering secrets for those who choose to listen, connecting the past, present, and future in a melodic symphony of waters. 2. Currents of time. Rivers as temporal bridges. As the water cascades from the echoes of ancestral wisdom, our journey with the river meanders into the deeper pools of time itself. If rivers carry the voices of the past, then they equally serve as an unending metaphor for life, ebbing and flowing in an eternal loop that mirrors the very essence of existence. In pondering the philosophical nature of time, one cannot help but reflect on the Nile, an epitome of timelessness within Egyptian mythology. The Nile, with its predictable cycles of flood and retreat, has painted a robust tableau of renewal and continuity for millennia. These rhythmic inundations were not merely agricultural boons bestowing fertility, but signify grander cosmological cycles. Every flood represented Ma'at, the ancient Egyptian concept of truth, balance, and cosmic order, reasserting itself, ensuring that life continued in a balanced harmony. Herein, the Nile transcends its role as a river. It becomes a direct connection to the celestial workings, a divine clock, making the passage of seasons and years. But what does it mean to view a river as a temporal bridge? This imagery invokes a meditation on how water, in its relentless flow, connects the seemingly disparate dots of past, present, and future into a coherent stream. Like memory itself, rivers retain the essence of what has been, a repository of ages, and yet they surge forward, relentless in their journey to realms anew. This continuum that rivers symbolize, from source to sea and back to the clouds, invites a reflection on the cyclical nature of life and existence, suggesting that nothing is ever static, nor entirely lost to time. Imagine standing upon the rivers of the ancient Nile, observing the swirling floods that bring life-giving silts and nutrients. In these cyclical patterns, the Egyptians saw the very pulse of their universe, a grand orchestrated symphony of life, reaffirming the pharaoh's divine right to rule and maintain order. Each flood a new beginning, each retreat a subtle closure, yet part of a grander continuity. This is how rivers school us in the lessons of time, and existence. This perspective transforms our engagement with time from linear progressions to more nuanced circular understandings where creation follows destruction, growth follows decline, patterns mirrored in our very human experiences. As we contemplate rivers through this philosophical lens, we can begin to align our lives' events and transitions within a broader, more embracing narrative of endless returns and renewals. Moreover, the imagery of the Nile, serving as a celestial bridge, not only connects different temporal phases but forms a spiritual continuum that binds the individual's life cycle with the larger universal cycles. Rituals performed along its banks, such as the Wepet Renpet New Year Festival, were not merely cultural observances, but metaphysical engagements that reaffirmed life's continuation and the transient yet perpetual nature of existence. In embracing rivers as temporal bridges, we see time not as a relentless force that erodes, but as a nurturing current that sustains, connects, and renews. Thus, as the Nile flows, so does life. So does civilization. So does every breath we take, infusing our fleeting moments with the weight of eternity. How do we then, given this eternal flow, choose to navigate our brief moment within the river's course? And how do we prepare to pass into the next cycle, enriched and empowered by the time we have witnessed coursing past us? Three, waters of transformation, rites, rituals, and renewal. Flowing from the notion of time as a cyclical, ever-renewing stream, our exploration leads us to where rivers become the stage for sacred transformations. Across the varied tapestry of African cultures, rivers are not merely boundaries or thoroughfares, but powerful metaphysical gateways. Within the currents of these sacred waterways, individuals and communities engage in transformative rites and rituals, making life's significant transitions and renewals. Consider, for instance, the riverine baptism rituals of the Yoruba people, where water symbolizes a medium of profound spiritual cleansing and rebirth. During these ceremonies, the river becomes a sanctified space where the old self is submerged and a new, spiritually purified self emerges. The act of entering the river and being submerged is deeply emblematic, intertwining physical and spiritual purification processes that prepare the individual for new phases in their life's journey. This ritual encapsulates the philosophical concepts of rebirth and renewal, echoing the broader life cycles marked by rivers' ceaseless flow. Another poignant example can be found in the purification ceremonies conducted in the Limpopo River, where members of surrounding communities gathered to cleanse themselves of past hardships and misfortunes. Here, the river absorbs the old, the mistakes and pains, and offers in return a slate cleansed by its flowing waters. Such practices highlight the river's role in not merely supporting physical existence, but also in sustaining spiritual and communal well-being. These customs, rich in symbolic gestures, reveal deeper philosophical ideas about the nature of purity, transformation, and the continuum of life. Rivers, in their unbound essence, demonstrate the purification not as a state achieved once, but a continuous process of renewal. Just as their waters are never the same from one moment to the next. As individuals engage with these natural bodies in such personal and collective rituals, they tap into the age-old wisdom that no entity, human or otherwise, remains unchanged. The waters teach that transformation is an inherent part of existence, reflecting the dynamic process of becoming rather than static being. This principle resonates on multiple levels, from cellular rejuvenation with bodies to psychological transformation in minds and spiritual awakening in souls. Furthermore, these rituals underscore a shared understanding across cultures, a universal acknowledgement of water's power to renew and transform. As we witness the rites performed in African riverbanks, we are reminded of similar practices across the globe, underscoring an intrinsic human connection to water as a vehicle for profound change. Through participating in these riverine rituals, individuals and communities do not merely perform a ceremonial duty, but actively engage in the dialogues set by nature's rhythms and flows. These interactions reflect a deep-seated belief in the capacity to renew life continuously, to purify it not just in a physical sense, but more importantly, in a metaphysical one, fostering a readiness to embrace the ever-evolving dance of existence. Thus, as we reflect on the role of rivers in rites and rituals of transformation, we come to realize the deeper truth they hold. A truth echoing through the splashes and gurgles of river waters that in every ending there is a beginning, in every withdrawal an offering, and in every surrender to the elemental powers a momentous rebirth. How then can we use these moments of transformative interaction with the flowing waters to reframe our own lives in alignment with the ceaseless currents of change and renewal? Four, spirited streams, deifying the waters. As we traverse the sacred landscapes shaped by rivers, we transition from their role in transformation to their divine embodiments, where waters are not merely resources but revered entities imbued with spirituality and divinity. Across the continent of Africa, rivers are deified, encapsulating broader metaphysical and existential beliefs that elevate their flows to divine status. Take, for example, the river Gambia, long worshipped as a manifestation of Mamiwata, a pervasive deity in African water spirit beliefs. Mamiwata, often depicted as a mermaid or a snake charmer, is not just a symbol of beauty and danger, but represents the profound dualistic nature of water, its ability to give life and take it away. The deification of the river Gambia as Mamiwata illustrates how water bodies can be seen as divine bearers of fertility and wealth, but also as guardians of deeper, more esoteric knowledge. Similarly, the river Kafue in Zambia holds significant spiritual value to the local communities living along its banks. It is often seen as a sacred entity that not only sustains life through its waters, but also holds the power to cleanse, heal, and protect. Rituals and offerings are made on its shores, speaking to the river as one would to a revered elder, asking for blessings and guidance, demonstrating an intimate connection that transcends mere physical dependency. This profound reverence elevates these rivers beyond their ecological functions, intertwining their existence with the spiritual health of the communities. In this capacity, rivers are not just bodies of water. They are potent symbols of divine presence, acting as intermediaries between the earthly and the spiritual realms. They become cosmic gatekeepers, holding secrets that link human existence to celestial phenomena. grounding cosmological beliefs in the tactile experience of water. The deification of rivers also affects how communities interact with their natural environments. Seeing a river as a divine entity changes the dynamics of usage and conservation, fostering a sense of stewardship and reverence. It implies a mutual relationship where the river is not merely a resource to be used, but a sacred entity that offers its bounty and, in return, deserves respect and protection. Moreover, in attributing divine qualities to rivers, there is a profound philosophical reflection on existence itself, on the interconnectedness of all forms of life, and the acknowledgement that human existence is deeply entwined with the natural world. This belief system challenges the often anthropocentric views of nature, proposing instead a more holistic approach where human life is just a part of a broader ecological and spiritual tapestry. As we contemplate these spirited streams, the recognition of rivers as divine entities enriches our understanding of how deeply environmental and spiritual wellness are interlinked. It prompts us to reconsider our role in the cosmos, not as dominators of nature, but as participants in a sacred ecological dance ordained by divine waters. How then can we draw from these beliefs to foster a deeper respect and reverence for the natural world? How do these sacred waters guide us towards a more symbiotic existence with the environment that sustains us? As we delve deeper into the river's divine currents, we find that they do much more than sustain life. They shape the very soul of cultures, echoing a timeless call to maintain the sanctity of the lifeblood of our planet. Five, philosophical undercurrents, navigating existential meanings. As our exploration of rivers deepens from their divine attributes to their philosophic essence, we now view these flowing bodies not merely as vessels of water, but as carriers of profound existential metaphor and wisdom. Rivers, with their relentless flux and transformative power, serve as apt analogues for the journey of life, encapsulating the essence of personal growth, ethical dilemmas, and the continual search for meaning. Consider the Nile, often recalled as the giver of life in the dry expanses of North Africa. Its annual floods, so reliable that they once punctuated the Egyptian calendar, offer more than sustenance for the land. They symbolize the renewing potential of nature, and by extension, of human endeavors. Just as the river's waters renew the earth, so too can individuals renew themselves and their communities, adapting and thriving even in variable circumstances. This continuity provides a stable ground for philosophical exploration of resilience and rebirth. How, indeed, do we channel our capabilities for renewal? On a darker note, the Congo River, woven through layers of colonial history, genocide, and exploitation, holds a heavier moral narrative. Here, the river becomes a symbol not of life's given forces, but rather its challenges and ethical complexities. Does the river then represent the flow of history, an inevitable course toward certain destinies? Or is it a challenge to be navigated? Its lessons heeding a caution about the paths we select. Rivers on metaphorical streams offer continuous insights into life's ethical and existential dilemmas. The turbulence and the tranquility experienced along their courses mirror the human condition. our moments of peace interspersed with periods of hardship and decision. In navigating a river, one learns much about navigating life's vicissitudes, the necessity of going with the flow while also steering carefully to avoid grounding upon unseen rocks below. Communities living along these mighty rivers employ these metaphors in their everyday understanding and philosophical musings. The river's journey from source to mouth, often long and arduous, becomes a narrative arc for each person. In their essence, also flows. Life, like a river, begins at a point of origin, grows as it traverses new territories, faces inevitable obstacles, combined forces with others, and finally merges into a larger, incomprehensible existence. Thus, rivers teach patience, perseverance, and perspective. They encourage reflection on where we come from and where we are heading. Moreover, they ask us to consider our legacy. What do we leave in the waters that others downstream will encounter? Are we polluters of our waters in the literal and metaphorical sense, or stewards who ensure clarity and cleanliness for those who follow? In these philosophical undercurrents, rivers extend an invitation to probe the deeper meanings of our individual and collective journeys. They challenge us to question, reflect, and perhaps understand a little more about our place within the natural world and the human community. As we come to realize, the river not only nourishes our bodies and spirits, but also engages our minds, stirring us to ponder profound truths about nature, existence, and continuity. By taking the time to listen and learn from these powerful natural philosophers, we may find guidance for ethical living and deeper insight into life's perennial questions. How do we navigate our own existence with wisdom akin to the rivers, those ageless guides that carve pathways through the hardest of landscapes, yet nourish life with every turn? And ultimately, how do we ensure that the streams of our own lives contribute positively to the vast ocean of human experience? Conclusion. As our odyssey along the mythological and metaphysical rivers of Africa draws to a close, we are left with a deeper appreciation of the profound roles these bodies of water play in molding the spiritual, cultural, and philosophical landscapes of the communities they nourish. From the sacred echoes of ancestral voices to the existential reflections mirrored in their flowing depths, rivers rise beyond their physical realities, embodying a complex tapestry of meanings that resonate with profound existential inquiries. In traversing the themes from the divine significance of spirited streams to the philosophic undercurrents guiding existential contemplation, we gain a renewed understanding of rivers not only as essential elements of the natural world, but as essential elements of human experience and wisdom. Rivers, with their perpetual cycle of renewal and unending flow, serve as metaphors for life itself, teaching lessons about resilience, transformation, ethics, and the interconnectedness of all things. These waters, which have cradled civilization and cultures along their banks, challenge us to reflect on our own lives as rivers, dynamic, filled with potential for renewal and growth, subject to the influences of the forces we navigate, and impactful in the nourishment or destruction we impart to those in our wake. Hence, The journey does not end at the river's mouth, but it continues as we carry its lessons back into our daily lives, allowing the wisdom gleaned from these ageless waters to permeate our actions and interactions. As we step away from the riverbanks, the call of the water remains, a call to conscious stewardship of both our environment and our existential journeys. The rivers of Africa, rich in myth and brimming with philosophical insight, invite ongoing dialogue and consideration. They remind us that the stewardship of our shared waters and shared lives is an enduring responsibility, one that requires mindfulness, reverence, and a deep commitment to the cycles of renewal that sustain the world. Thus, let the rivers you encounter, whether bounded by banks or flowing through the narratives of culture and mythology, serve as guides and guardians in the personal and collective quest of understanding and growth. May their timeless currents inspire you to seek deeper connections, broader reflections, and a life lived with purpose alongside and in harmony with the natural world. In the words of these ancient flowing mentors, we find the currents that push us forward, the eddies that challenge our progress, and the tranquility of deep pools that allow us to reflect. Engage them, learn from them, and above all, honor the vital life force they represent, flowing ever onward, like the enduring spirit of humanity itself. This is the House of Horus. Thanks for joining me. Till next time.